You're scrolling through a feed, reading a detailed comment, or watching a seamlessly edited video. Then you pause. You notice a slightly unnatural cadence in the text, or a bizarre visual artifact in the background, and you realize the content you are engaging with was likely not made by a human being. 20 years ago, users on fringe message boards noticed odd repetitive phrasing in forum comments. They hypothesized that large portions of internet traffic were simply bots talking to other bots, an idea that became known as the dead internet theory. Today, software can write complex code, render photorealistic faces, and draft essays in milliseconds. Generative technology has scaled up so rapidly that this early internet conspiracy is now a statistically probable reality. The death of the internet represents a hollowing out, a digital space where human presence shrinks into the minority. This projection of internet traffic shows we are approaching a tipping point where 90% of the web is artificial. Extending far beyond spam, this volume comprises AI text generators, synthetic image renders, scripted videos, and the code required to host them. When machines generate and consume the vast majority of bandwidth, the web transforms into a self-sustaining habitat for software. Below the slick user interface of your browser, there is a physical infrastructure built to produce media at an industrial scale. This chart compares an average human's lifetime written output against a large language model's daily capacity. These AI systems generate text at fractions of a cent per output. Server farms generate thousands of articles hourly, capturing millions of ad impressions at virtually zero marginal cost. The physical limits of typing speed and human sleep cycles mean authentic posts are immediately buried under this high-volume synthetic production. Your feed highlights what keeps you scrolling. In a FLAE ecosystem, visibility depends entirely on which pieces of data the platform algorithms choose to elevate. A script executes on a remote server, drafting a text post and publishing it directly to a social media platform. No human user presses send. Platform curation algorithms, programmed strictly to maximize user retention, identify the post's optimized keywords and push it into public feeds. The origin post hits the curation algorithm, immediately triggering a swarm of automated reply bots programmed to engage with trending topics. As the reply bots leave synthetic comments and shares, the like and view counters increase rapidly, while the solitary human user remains entirely bypassed. Bots draft the content, bots promote the content, and bots react to the content. This autonomous cycle runs continuously in the background, creating the digital void. To improve their accuracy, a next generation of artificial intelligence systems requires continuous scraping of massive public internet datasets. When those datasets are already filled with synthetic content, the system experiences model collapse. Model collapse is a degenerative process where an AI model loses its ability to produce accurate or diverse outputs because it is trained on artificial data instead of human-generated data. New AI models scrape the web and inadvertently train themselves on the artificial output generated by previous generations. As the data loops back through the system, linguistic nuances disappear. Small logical errors compound with each recursive cycle, eventually resulting in outputs that are entirely illegible. Without a continuous supply of fresh, authentic human data to anchor the system, the echo chamber eventually degrades the quality of the entire network. This mathematical reality shifts the focus back to the remaining 10% of the internet produced by actual people. Knowing you are the minority in a machine landscape forces a change in user behavior. You begin to question the motives behind the media you consume. Because AI requires authentic data to survive, verifiable human interaction is becoming a scarce and essential resource for developers struggling to avoid model collapse. To protect that value, users are locking their communities behind paywalls, private servers, and strict identity verification checkpoints. The open web is turning into a series of defensive perimeters meant to block out synthetic noise. Living in this environment requires a constant, exhausting vigilance, questioning the origin of every image, comment, and review you encounter. Navigating the modern web means adopting a forensic mindset, actively looking for the typos, the inconsistent lighting, and the illogical phrasing that prove a human was involved. The servers will remain powered on. The data will transfer faster than ever, flawlessly delivering content to your screen, even as the underlying soul of the network is hollowed out. Logging online has evolved into a daily search for a human pulse in the digital void.